Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Wesley the Writer. I'm Wesley the Writer, and today I got a couple of topics I want to get into, uh, mostly pertaining to time management. So, if you're interested in that, please stick around and let's get into it. Okay, so first off, I would like to start this episode by saying that I understand uh, life happens for a lot of people, especially when we get into talking about achieving goals and all this stuff. You hear all these stories before. Everybody's always telling you to just keep on going, keep on struggling, keep on with the hustle. You'll get there eventually. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. You'll do it. You're going to do it. You're going to make it. You're going to make it to the big leagues, kid. But the reality of the situation is that most people don't make it because they don't have enough time in their day to make it. It's hard to prioritize yourself when you have so many responsibilities, children, rents, and bill payments, whatever, dogs, even cats, however you want to shake it. Those things that come into our life that we have to take care of before we take care of ourselves. That's the hardest thing to get around, and it's something that's been bothering me for a while. It was just speaking from my experiences, a really hard time getting over. It was a really hard time getting over losing family and managing my time to do what it is that I want to do. A lot of it kind of played together at one point in my life, and it caused me to have to go back and reassess myself. To just put it in terms of going over what we're going to be talking about today, I struggled with time management because of a lot of deep-seated emotional issues that I had pertaining to events that occurred in my life. And not to put everything on that, but it's important to talk about things like that. I feel it's important to come to terms with things that you can't control and to move forward with your life with the things that you can control. Um, I did come up with a couple of solutions that work for me in my attempt to become a professional writer. I spent a lot of time with a lot of inward reflection, primarily due to my involvement with the church and my position as a deacon and all how all that stuff really played out. So I believe that you can find solutions in your life that will help you with your time management, and I hope that today's podcast will help you in some small part come up to those conclusions for yourself to help you along on your journey. If things work out for you, I'm really thankful. And if they don't, maybe you can share with me anything that can be, or any type of insight that you might have that you would be willing to share um, with the group or whoever's listening, or if it's just me and you. So let's just get into it. Okay, so I realized at a certain point in my life that I needed to change up my how I spent my time. I would normally go and spend my time playing video games, getting lost in worlds, and basically just doing everything and anything I could do to escape the harsh reality that is, living. A lot of my time that I had spent before was wasted, but I realized that I wanted to achieve some stuff that I had never achieved before. I wanted to put out work that people could actually interact with. As far as my writing and stuff, I've been writing since I was 14. Um, I've been writing since I've been 14, and I've been interested in stories that revolved around fantasy and horror and all that stuff. And I just wanted to put myself in the sphere to where people could, talk to me about my work, appreciate it, hate it, whatever. But basically, just doing the thing was what was going to make me happy. And I really found that in order to start getting around that woe is me, no one wants to work with me, I'm on an island by myself, I realized that I had put myself in a space where I couldn't achieve what I wanted solely because it was by my own hand. I basically created my own perfect storm of excuses. Okay? So, because of that, I took to my phone, actually. I opened up my phone and I started planning out my time using my clock app, the default clock app that you get on all your phones. And so I did that, and I basically, okay, so I studied, or no, I didn't study. Okay, so I looked up how long it took for a person to master a skill. It was like 10,000 hours or something like that. And so I basically just divided that all the way down to a daily hour allotment for a particular skill. And I found that an hour and 36 minutes a day was the ideal amount of time for you to achieve something that you wanted to achieve. And so what I did was I put an hour and 36-minute increments into my day to work on the 4 areas of my life. I'll get into the 4 areas in a little bit, but my initial thought process was, okay, I'm going to put myself out here, and I want to put myself out here in the best possible way. I don't want to sit up here and like rush things. I don't want to say, okay, I got time to do this, but I don't actually have time to do this. I just wanted to, I wanted it to work the right way. And this even goes back to just me writing in general. It's like I didn't just wake up and was like, okay, I'm going to write a script now, and it's just going to be like perfectly formatted, and I'm going to have all of this stuff together and all that. I didn't do that. I actually spend the majority of that hour and 36-minute increment for me doing my podcast and writing time and stuff like that, learning. Like, I'm still in spheres to learn things. I'm actually a part of Kelly Krause group on she found me on Twitter from Nick's Horror, and I'm in there, and I'm loving it. Like, I'm learning a bunch of stuff. I'm learning about how to market myself as a writer and stuff like that. And that's what it takes. It takes us finding those moments in our life where we can actually dedicate time to doing something for ourselves instead of giving all of our time away to other people, so that we can be the best versions of ourselves that we want to be. Like, that's just the whole end all be all, this is why I'm here to fulfill a purpose mission. Like, that's just it. Even with, everything that we learn, or everything that I've learned in church, it's like it's all geared toward the same end goal. It's just building ourselves up so that we can better serve the people around us. How can I help someone if I can't help myself? It's those same principles that just seem to go over a lot of people's heads, and it's a real important topic for me to really express how important it is to get what's in you out. Because if you don't, you become bitter. And when you become bitter, well, you don't do anything but critique. That's not what we're supposed to do. Getting actual feedback from people about things they liked or didn't like about something that you created isn't a bad thing, but it becomes bad when the only sole purpose of your existence is to just spread your misery to others because you just don't want to do what it is that you were called to do. It's foolishness. So here's the thing. I have 2 sons, and I have one, we'll say the gender when my wife's ready for it, on the way. And I have a wife who wants my time as well. And so in order to give them what they want, I have to be able to do everything I have to do when I can do it. Like, it's like, okay, I was looking at my life before I was married and all the time that I had. before I had to go and take care of babies and to take care of a wife and to make sure I maintain a job and make sure I make all the money as possible, as much as possible to take care of them. I was looking at all of that from before, and I was like, if I literally could have achieved everything that I wanted to achieve then, but I didn't. And the reason that I didn't was because I put in my head that I couldn't. And it was because I put all that stuff in my head that I couldn't, that life passed me by. Fast forward another 10 years or so, I'm 32, and I'm looking at 2 kids waking me up. I love my kids when they wake me up. It is so funny. Like, especially Wesley 3. Oh, man, I love it. He just comes in, it's just like, he has big cheeks and stuff, and then here comes Aventus, like, right after. I'm just giving away names and stuff, but I love my kids. Okay, I love my son. Man, just talking about them right now, like, it's just, I'm excited about being a dad. I'm excited about being a husband, and my wife. Even though I'm not able to give her all the time in the world, I'm glad that I'm able to give her some of my time, at least. But that's why I work, so that I can get out here and give them what they need, and we can finally start enjoying more of life without being tied to a clock. So on top of those responsibilities with having a wife and kids, I'm also the deacon of my church, and I have responsibilities that put me in the church as well as a servant to God's people. Now, you can zone in and out if you want at this part, but I'm just explaining how my time is dedicated to others before I even get into how I shifted my thought process to giving myself time. As deacon of the church, it's my responsibility to go in and make sure that the church is upkept, just, stay behind the pastors and make sure that the services and stuff can go on and all that. So, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It's a lot to give myself out to other people. It's a lot to give myself just to be in God's servant in general. But the responsibility isn't something that I shy away from. It's something that I enjoy. And just being able to be there for people and to help them out when I can, it's hard to put in words when you see widows smiling because you're there to help them after their husband or wife pass away, and you're able to do little simple jobs around their house for them, like the mothers of the church needing help, the men who lost their wives, needing just an extra hand, just being there. I enjoy it, and I'm happy that I made the decisions that I did in my life because I feel complete when I do stuff like that. Also, if you didn't know, if I didn't already mention it, I'm a janitor, okay? So that basically means that my day job is going in there and cleaning your toilets for you. And before some people, start getting on the whole, oh, he's a janitor, no wonder he wants to get in the podcasting kick. I would prefer being a janitor over any other job out here, mainly because of the fact that when you're talking about janitorial, in this sense, we're talking about by contract basis. We're not talking about just working at your local school for handouts. Oh no. All right. We're talking about owning contracts. Now, when we own contracts as a janitor, we go in mostly through a franchise company and we bid on contracts so that the franchise gets a cut, or rather they bid for us. Franchise gets a cut, we get a cut, we go in, we do the work. And based off of the volume of work is how I get paid. And I gotta tell you, it pays. It pays. But, alright, so it's not something that I would recommend to a person who's just looking at work as go in, punch clock, have no other ambitions, only expecting the minimum, and go home. No, you gotta be cutthroat with these people and you gotta be direct. We know what we're worth. We know what, our time is worth, what our company expenses are. And yeah, basically, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to run a janitorial company. And I'm not even the one running it. Like, my dad owns it. But, thankfully, he's looking at giving it to me and my sisters when he's ready to retire. And, we're basically in position to be able to run a janitorial company by ourselves. We've been working this janitor gig since I was like fresh out of high school back in 2010. Man, how old am I? I'm like 32 this year. Man. Anyway, so we've been at it for a while. Now, that's to say, it's, basically working for anyone, or if it's yourself, if it's your family, if it's a business you started, if it's whatever, you have to be able to do what you gotta do to get the money that you need in order to live the life that you want. But you also can't let that be the end all be all of your life. You have to be able to get out. You have to be able to do stuff that you want to do. And it's okay if you work at McDonald's or whatever. That's fine. Actually, that'll probably be one of the better places to work. Get in, build yourself up to management, start buying into McDonald's, get your own McDonald's, however you want to do it, and just do it. Be good at what you do. And if there's something else on the side, do that. And if, you want to make movies, or you want to be an artist of something, you can do that. But just make sure that you focus on building up your income first before you start trying to leap out and just chase a dream, without any safety net or cushion behind it. Because I got to tell you, it's definitely cold outside. I wrapped up my life into 4 sections. These 4 areas are very important to me, and I'm going to explain to you why they're important. And this isn't something that I came up on my own. I actually came across this stuff when I was looking at Jaspreet Singh's channel, Minority Mindset, and he was in a video, one of his videos. He was explaining that there are 4 areas of your life that you have to pay attention to, and those 4 areas are your body, like your physical, how you move around, stuff like that. Your mind, what you're putting into your mind, how you're spending your time with your meditations, if you meditate, and what your thought processes are. Your money, which is your finances, and that's his channel, dealing with financial health, but being financially fit in the right ways to be able to handle what might come up, whatever happens in the world. But also, one that hit me on a bigger note was your spirit. Why do you wake up in the morning? No, really, answer that question right now, because that's a very important question to have answered before you do anything else. Like, before you even finish listening to this podcast, figure out what it is that you're really aiming towards working. Like, what gets you up, motivated, ready to work, what keeps your mind focused, and basically helps you with your passions. I spent a while with this mindset that it was all the money. It was like I had to put everything in the money. Like, if I was going to be successful in my life, the only way that I was going to be successful was if I made enough money to support myself, or to support whatever goal I had for myself. And that was just a lie. It was a lie to think that the only thing I needed to, like, forget my body, forget my mind, it was the money that was going to get me the nice house, the well children, and the wife that the supermodel and all that stuff. That was what did it for everybody. So that was obviously what I needed, and I was wrong. When I came into my own spiritually, with me finding religion and me being a believer, I at first was resentful of putting myself out there in a spiritual sense, because it all was the same to me. It was all the invisible man in the sky, miracles, whatever, invisible hands strike you with lightning, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't understand that it wasn't about the punishments, It wasn't about the hand wavy mythical, oh, this is the accurate representation of an angel. Oh my gosh, I love those videos. They are just so hilarious and so wrong. We're talking about an inward journey. We're not talking about, some external existential gobbledygook. We're talking about what it is that gets you, that continues you forward mentally, physically, financially. What backs all of that? When you can define what it is that backs your entire endeavor, then you don't have to worry about if you get a harsh criticism. You have that backing. For me, it's God. And what the Bible stands for basically is just, I can do anything in this world as long as it falls within the tenets that God wants me to live by, to keep him first and to study his word and to go out and help those who don't know him to know him and all of this stuff. And so that keeps me going. That keeps me from falling into those pits of self-loathing and pity parties and doubt and whatever else. It keeps me on the right path that I have a passion for. My passion for everything that I do, it stems from my belief that with God on my side, I can conquer and do anything that I put my hands to, as long as I live by what the word says. And for you, it might be of some other faith or religion or belief system, but the core principles are the same. Put yourself and hold yourself to higher standards of living so that you don't stray away from what you put in front of yourself to achieve. You have your goals that you want to meet, so go out and meet them. Don't think that at the end of the day you have to settle for something that you don't want, and you don't have to settle for a life of mediocrity just because you work at a lower position in society. And even if you work at a higher position in society, if you want to achieve something, go out and do it. Do it, but make sure that your mind is right. Make sure that your body is right, because you can't enjoy any of the success that you get from this stuff if your health is off, like your actual physical health is off. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself financially so that you're not running around here clamoring for money. You can't help someone if you don't have anything to help them with. And that's for all aspects of this entire thing: your health, your physical health, your mental health, your financial health, and your spiritual health. I can't help people spiritually if my own spirit is off. I can't. And that's not how this works. Take care of yourself by giving yourself proper time to process this stuff in your life, and you will be able to help other people the way you want to. It's not successful for you to make the money. It's successful for you to be balanced in everything that you do, so that when you go out here and someone says something to you, you don't just run up on stage and start smacking people because they said something you didn't like. Had to drop that will comment in there. Sorry. What I did to do this is that I went into my notes section of my phone and I made a bunch of folders for my physical health, my spiritual health, my financial health, and my mental health. And I went about gamifying my life. And what I mean by that is, I saw a video. I'll find it and I'll put it, the description of it, in the comment section or in the notes section of the podcast. But what I did was I followed the advice of a guy that I saw, and I started giving myself rewards based off of the things that I achieved. Not big stuff, small stuff. Maybe a pack of cookies. Maybe, something that would keep me going along. And I basically put everything that I wanted to achieve in those 4 folders. Like, what I wanted for my physical health was to lose some weight. And so, I guess I'm still working on that one. But, it was there so that I could adjust and make changes to my goals and all that stuff as I went about my life. And I put things into perspective. I started writing notes about the things that I was trying to achieve. And I started, actually looking at what it was that was going on in my brain. I think it's something different when you write your stuff down in that way, where you're looking at everything that you want to achieve, but you're also looking at yourself in the mirror. And you're like, okay, am I really seeing myself doing this? Do I feel like doing this? And if it's something that you're really passionate about, trust me, you're going to get over that hurdle real quick. You're going to start realizing that you want to make time for this stuff. You don't want to just sit on the sidelines and give other people your time. No, you want to be a game designer? Well, then you're going to start making time out of your day to get on your computer and start looking up videos on how to actually start getting into game design, or clothing, or, taking care of pets, or whatever it is you want to do. You're going to start to do it. What it's also going to do is help you learn a lot about yourself. I realized that there was a lot about me that I did not like. When I looked at myself in that way in 4 areas and start assessing, like, okay, well, I'm good at this area, I'm bad at this area, and all this stuff, it's really started to change the way that I thought about how I went about my life. And I made changes to get over that, and I'm really glad that I did. I'm glad that I took the time out, a couple of minutes here and there, maybe sitting on the toilet with my phone in my hand, instead of watching anime or trying to play a phone game real quick. I just wrote down what I enjoyed doing and what I wanted to achieve. And here we are, me sitting in my car at the job that I'm supposed to be working at, doing a podcast because I made time for myself, even though, my time was short. So here's the end all be all to it. You can do this stuff too. It's not out of your reach to do it. Go and do your best to start achieving things on your own, and make time for yourself to be able to, basically get stuff done. Like, don't sit and think that you have to give all of who you are to some corporate overlord or something like that, because that's just not how it works. It's a lie. It's something that people have been feeding themselves for a long time, because they just are too oblivious to the fact that they live in a capitalist country where you can literally go online and make a video of you pouring milk into a glass and make multiple millions of dollars. I think people miss out on the thought process of that they could literally just ask their boss, hey, boss, I have something that I'm working on and I think it will be really good. Maybe I can work on this at my desk, or maybe I can go to my car for an extended break, or maybe it's not. And if they don't allow you to do that, well, then that's okay too. Find days, find times, find something that you can do downtime at your job, like I did. Like, I literally have some downtime at my job right now, and I'm able to sit in my car and record because I don't have to be on site all the time doing everything all the time. Maybe you run a tighter shift, and maybe you're unable to break away from your daily tasks like that. Or maybe you can just start waking up earlier in the morning. Maybe when you get off work, maybe instead of going to go play a video game, or maybe before you start, wanting to hang out with your friends, you say, hold on, let me dedicate an hour and 36 minutes of my time to something that I actually want to do. Maybe this is old news for some people. Maybe they already know, but I guarantee you the majority of people don't believe that, and most people don't know that. Trust me, man. Go and work on yourself. Make short-term goals for yourself. Don't just do things blindly without a deadline. We work best when we have deadlines, when we have a boss telling us what to do. Keep that mindset. You have a boss right now, and your boss is telling you that you have to achieve your part of your goal for this week by the end of the week. And if you don't, well, then okay, maybe there's nothing harsh holding you back from not doing it. But if you keep a mindset of, okay, this is something that I want to do, and if I don't do it, then I'll never achieve X, or I won't be able to do Y, then that might help you out in the long term. Write your successes and failures down, and don't be afraid to share your feelings in a journal. I write my stuff down in my phone all the time. I write it down. I look at it. I don't look at my journal daily or anything like that, because I don't need that much motivation to get up and do stuff now. It's just I want to make sure that I write how I feel down so that it doesn't stay bottled up inside of me. If I get frustrated, if I get happy, or if anything in between, I don't want to be going through the rest of my days holding in a bunch of stuff that I feel could have been let go 20 years ago. It happened. Move on from it. I think one of the more impressive quotes I heard someone say is that you're only as good as the last thing you produced. So what did you produce this week? What did you produce today? All right, y'all. So to wrap this up, procrastination is the enemy. I'm calling you to act on what it is you said that you wanted to achieve. Either you said it last year, either you said it today, maybe you're going to say it at the end of the week. I'm calling you to act. So act. Go and do something. Go and work on that screenplay, please. And if you do, let me know. I definitely want to get in on your process. Definitely want to hear what your thoughts are about how you go about your writing process. Yeah, okay. I'm a writer. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to geek out right now. Anyway, getting back to the more inspirational parts. Get out there and do something. Make a rap or something that you just play around with stuff. Enjoy the time you have, because time is just so short. Really is so short. Yesterday, I was 14 years old, just starting my writing journey, and now I'm 32, about to move into my 40s. Oh man, that's scary. Remember that time is a valuable commodity that you can control. You can control your time. You just have to get in your head. Okay, today, that's it. I'm not giving everybody else my time. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to draw this painting. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to learn how to finally skateboard. I'm going to go and start getting into crypto. Whatever. You make the rules for your life. So get out there and make a rule that says, I'm going to dedicate an hour and 36 minutes to doing something. That's the commission. Just go out and do it. You don't have to share it. If you want to, you can. Send me a message about it. I'd be interested to read it. I think that'd be really cool to start getting something like that going. But don't stop with just doing it one time. If it's what you said you want to do, go do it. Don't wait for praise and applause, or don't wait for a chat box to start going crazy. I guarantee you that no one's going to even listen to this. Like, no one. I'm pretty sure this is one of those early podcast episodes that won't see any listens at all. But 20 years from now, when I'm sitting in front of Joe Rogan or something talking about a podcasting experience, I guarantee you that they're going to be like, oh man, he's so cool, man. He probably just popped up on the scene. And I've been doing it for 20 years or something like that. Got a gray beard and stuff, looking all crazy. I probably have a mohawk at that point. Dude, that would be so cool with a mohawk. No one, including God, is going to give you your success. That is not how success works. You are alive right now. So because you're alive, that means go and achieve what you want to achieve. Go out and do what the commission is. God does not give you houses. He does not give you cars. He does not give you money. He gives you seed. And that seed is something that you have to plant. You have to be the farmer in this situation. Go out and start putting down that seed. God already tilled the land for you if you're a believer. If you're not a believer, just know that going out here and doing small things to get big results and big gains out of it, that's the mindset. You don't have to wait for someone to determine what your success level is. You don't have to wait or lean on other people to get you out here to do something. Don't do that. Focus on you. Focus on your health. Focus on those 4 areas of the life: your finances, your physical health, your mental health, and your spiritual health. Focus on those aspects of your life, and I guarantee you, everything will work out in your favor. Because it's not about praying for something, it's about praying for the knowledge, to understand the knowledge, so that you can produce a wisdom that'll change your entire life. And I could be getting a little preacher-y in here right now. I'm going to back off. But here's the deal. If you don't, end of the day, in the discussion, if you don't do what it is that you say you are, just like how I say I'm a writer, but I haven't produced an actual short film or had anything be publicly except for one time, even though that was that one time, I still right now have the ability to go out and do what it is that I can do. Like right now with this podcast, making this platform so that I can put my stuff out here. You have to define your success on your own. And if you don't, the world's just going to pass you by. And that's not what God had, as a believer, that's not what God intended for his children to do in the first place. We have to put work behind our faith. So get out, do something today, and start doing what you've been called to do. Don't play games with it. Enjoy this short life. All right, so coming up, short story reads. I definitely want to get into short stories. I want to start putting some stuff up here. I'm definitely going to do that. It's just a matter of me getting around to getting the catalog together, so I can just read it off at a particular pace. I don't want to just start throwing all of my stuff up here at one time. I would like to space it all out, so it's coming. Just bear with me for a little bit. One of these episodes, probably episode 5, I might start going into short stories. And then from there, I'll probably do a script breakdown here and there, some past work that I've done. And then we can start moving into when I'm actually going to do my do the production I've been talking about with the audio dramas. That's going to make up the bulk of the content that I put up here after a while. It's just going to be audio dramas and then me doing these talking segments here and there. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Also, lessons from the past about how I've done things and what I learned in that process. And then what I'm learning about now. And the people that I'm working with now and all that stuff. So definitely stick around for that if you're interested, and please share this podcast with anyone who you feel in your life is a writer who either is struggling to write or someone who just definitely like listening to people who are about the writing process. Anyway. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Wesley the Writer. Really, just keep in mind as you go along this journey, keep the faith and know that it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to run into walls or have issues with the process. But just as long as you continue to do something that you're passionate about, and just as long as you make time for yourself, it'll work out. It'll work out. No pity parties, no self-loathing, no doubt. Move forward in the calling that you've been given and do what it is that you're passionate about. Enjoy the time that you have, because so much can happen in such a little amount of time, and it would just suck if everything that you said you wanted to do never got done because you never decided to make time to do it. I think that time management is a very important topic, and it's one that I would hope does not elude you. I'm thankful for having you here listening to me today, and I look forward to talking again next time. All right. So I'll catch you later. Bye.